I'm going to be focusing on animals, how to take good care of them, and give them a good and loving home because animals have feelings too. If you're wondering how you can do all this, don't worry, I'll tell you about how you can do all of this in this TED Talk. My name is Rosanna, and I believe that animals should be treated just like humans are treated. So, how can you give them a good and loving home? I will tell you now. First, don't mistreat your animals or pets. Do animals have feelings? Many people wonder that very question, and the answer is yes. Animals have just as much feelings as we do. Just keep this in mind. We are just another species of animals. If you don't want a pet anymore, it's not right to abandon them and leave them behind. You should give them to a family member or pet that are willing to take care of them. And if they don't, then just give them to a no-kill pound. Most pounds are no-kill, but believe it or not all are. Another thing that you should never do, yet still happens so often, is leaving your pet alongside a road. Or worse, a busy road, a busy street, or a highway. Most people who have done this probably don't know that it's actually really legal in almost all states. You risk getting a fine of $1,000, a sentence in jail for 6 months, or even both. So there's just one other reason not to do it. It could be bad for you and the pet. If you're moving, don't leave them behind. Take them with you. If you're moving far away and you feel like it's just so much trouble to take your pet with you, again, give them to a friend or family member. If you can't find any of them that want your pet, give them to a shelter so that your little friend can find another loving home. I myself have witnessed something bad like this. We had neighbors who had moved away and their 2 small dogs were left behind. We knew that this was wrong because it was in the middle of the summer and really hot. We later found out that the dogs died. It's not safe for the animal, so you shouldn't do it. Keeping them safe. If you see one on the side of a busy road, pick it up and bring it to a shelter or something. If you leave an animal on the road, something very bad will probably happen to it. Imagine if that pet was just a little child. You wouldn't just leave a little child on the side of the road. A puppy or kitten is just like a little child. You should probably pick it up, bring it home, drop it off at a shelter. Anything is better than leaving it on the side of a very busy road. If there's a hurricane or a tornado or something very bad, bring them to a shelter with you. Animals have feelings too. Again, if you are near a wildfire and going to a shelter nearby, take your pet with you. About 4,000 pets die every year, and about 500,000 pets are affected in general each year by wildfires. That's a lot. That just shows that you should take your pet with you. If there is a tornado, bring your pet down to the basement, bathroom, or wherever your shelter is. If you're in a car, make sure that your pet is in a kennel and not moving around too much. Make sure that the kennel is also in the back seat. The back seat is the safest place for a pet and a child. You don't want your pet to get out of the kennel and walk and sit in the front. That could be very dangerous for you and the pet. I have a cat of my own, and I know my mom was driving, and she found a way to get out of her kennel. She went up to the front and sat on my mom's lap. That was very dangerous. Luckily, it wasn't a busy road or a highway, but it was still, again, very dangerous. Lastly, giving them a good and loving home. If they are a wild animal at the zoo, make sure that the animal is in a good environment and has enough space. Some zoos take animals out of their natural habitats and put them in zoos. And sometimes they don't even give them enough space to move around in. They get bored easily and start pacing around, which is unhealthy for them. Imagine if you were taken out of your home, locked up in a small cage all day, every day, and all people did was, take pictures of you. That doesn't sound very fun. So zoos can at least try and give them enough space. Making sure that the family loves them and pays attention and gives it that certain energy that it needs is also important. If you decide to get a puppy, you have to take care of it. It needs attention and it has to be played with. Even as an older dog, you need to have enough time for it and it needs attention. You also have to make sure that you are feeding it and giving your pet water. You also have to make sure that it's the right food for them. For example, you can't give a dog cat food or vice versa. Make sure that if your pet has special needs, you are taking care of those special needs. And if the vet says that your pet needs special food, make sure that you give your pet that special food. That brings me to the end of my talk. In conclusion, remember that pets have just as much feelings as we do and deserve to be loved and cared for. Thank you.